Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be talking about my summer TBR and I am so excited. I used to think that I was like a fall person, like fall was the season that I enjoyed the most, I guess. And I do love fall and all the activities that come with fall and the temperature, but I think I am more so a spring-summer person. Spring, 100%. Summer can be hit or miss depending on the temperature, but I am just so excited. I love reading like romance books, and as you guys know, I love Pirates of the Caribbean, so summertime is like time for Pirates of the Caribbean binge watching marathon. And I know last year I did like, was it last year or 2 summers ago? I do not know. I think I did one last year of a huge summer TBR. It was almost like I collected a ton of recs and then was just giving them to you guys. They weren't necessarily like my recommendations, but just a ton of summery books in general that are on my like overarching TBR. But this year I'm gonna do a slightly more culled down one, but still hopefully have a lot of ones that maybe you haven't seen in other videos, because like I feel like there's a lot of ones that we just see in the same old videos and then you're like, I just want to read something different. So I'm hoping that this can be that for you. But before we get into that, I want to thank the sponsor of today's video, which is Ana Luisa. I am literally so tickled to be working with Ana Luisa. I used to wear jewelry all the time and then became a late 20s girly and a mom, and I just, I don't get dressed like super dressed every single day, but I do like to put on like a little bit of jewelry even with like my like casual hang around the house, run to the park outfits. But Graham was like a jewelry tugger, and so I didn't wear jewelry for a while, and so now I'm trying to get back into it, and I'm so excited because Ana Luisa is helping me start my jewelry wearing habit back up. Despite the fact that I am about to have another baby, I am hopefully going to be able to maintain it this time. I'd like to just wear at least like a handful of things every day. I love like little like dainty pieces, and I like having things that are tarnish free because I love to ideally not have to take them off when I'm doing stuff, especially in the summer when we're like going all kinds of places. I'm a big fan of their price point. They have jewelry as low as $39, which I love. Great, thank you. I have a hard time buying things for myself as a mom. I should work on that, I know, but I just don't necessarily always think to buy something for myself. So I'm so excited to have affordable and like high quality pieces that I really enjoy. And so I got 2 pieces and they each came in like their own little individual box. I just like their branding, it's fun. But so let me show you the 2 things that I got. First up, I got the Hannah bracelet. Let's see. I am literally such a fan of this because it's so simple. The little pearl detailing is my favorite. I have worn this every single day since the package came, and this is a huge flex for me personally, I can actually put this on by myself one-handed. You know, it's got just like a regular clasp, but I can never put on bracelets or necklaces like if I have to do it like single-handedly. And Jordan leaves for work super early, so the fact that I was able to put this on, I feel like this is a really high quality clasp personally. I'd like all my jewelry to have this clasp, would make me feel way better. But yeah, I can put this on with my non-dominant hand, which was a huge win. And then the other thing I got are these Dakota marble blue earrings, which actually match my dress. I was feeling really cute today. We had some stuff to do, so I threw on a cute outfit today to feel like a real grown-up. But I really like these. Hang on, let's see if I can finagle myself closer. I literally love these. Blue and white is my favorite color combo personally. Like my entire living room is blue and white. I love the good like grand millennial coastal vibe. That has been my vibe my whole life. So the fact that it's trending right now personally I think is a win, because I can find stuff like this that really fits my vibe when I used to not be able to find stuff. But they're just like this blue and white marble. Here, let me pop it off and see if I can show you a little bit closer. They almost look like chinoiserie print, which is my favorite and which I have on everything. And so I really like it. We'll see if I can get it back in. I'm terrible at putting on earrings. Wait, holy cow. I did it. That was such a score. I also love that these don't have like backs. They snap into the back of the earring, which is such a win for me because the backs irritate my skin on earrings. Overall, I'm literally obsessed with both of these. I'm hoping I can find even more ways to wear these earrings. I'm thinking with like some just like casual, I love to wear like a white button up in jean shorts. That's been like my maternity go-to look, that and dresses. And like I said, almost all my wardrobe is like blue and white and yellow, which I love to wear blue and white with yellow. But I am just so satisfied with the quality. It is high quality pieces that I hope can last me for a long time, and they're pretty tug resistant. So I'm feeling optimistic. I will have a link in the description for you guys to check out my pieces and maybe get some of your own if you are interested. But I think these pieces are so fun and summery, and I love just getting to slowly expand my jewelry collection at a price point where I am happy to buy new jewelry, and they offer free shipping. And that is always such a bonus to me personally. So thank you so much to Amy and Luisa. And now let's jump into our summer TBR. All right, party people, here is the deal with the summer TBR. Of course, I have plenty of books that I own that I need to read, but I have a lot of books that I've like just wanted to read that are either older or newer. And so I've actually really gotten into using my library via the Libby app, and also just like my library in general. I have like the list of my like priority summer read breakdown, and that would be Graham running around with Jordan. A lot of them are on my Libby, so I don't have a ton of physical copies, but don't worry, I will be sure to put covers here, of course, for you. I didn't turn on my little reading lamp. You guys, what's wrong with me? As you know, if you've been here before, wait, now I feel like the lighting is weird. I have the hiccups. Okay, as you guys know, he is having the best time. He's just playing outside, inside, doing all of the things. So I have this huge note in my phone. I also have a recommendation section. I don't know if anyone would be interested in my summer book recommendations. If you are, it would probably be like not a super long video, but I could do it. I have, let's see how many. I have like 16. I probably have a few more. My notes app is being so weird. Also, I am parched, and I know what you're seeing. You're looking at this and you're thinking, Sarah Beth, what are you drinking that's the size of your head? If you have ever been to a farmer's market and gotten like a farmer's market lemonade, I fell really deep into farmer's market lemonade TikTok, and now I am obsessed with making them for myself. This is my current pregnancy hyperfixation, I guess. I'm hopefully gonna do like a summer reset video, sort of, not really a reset, but like a prepping for summer. So I have always done this bingo board. Oh, hang on, I need a sip of lemonade. It's so good. I've never made lemonade from scratch at home. I've always used like packets. There's something about the fresh lemons that really speaks to me. It is so yummy. This is also so fun. It's like a silly little treat. I'm gonna like make stickers with my Cricut that say like Rad Beverage Co. and put them on this, and then I'm gonna feel fun. I do this bingo board. I promise we're gonna get to the TBR. I do this bingo board thing every year. It was one of the first things I ever did on my BookTok that people really liked, because I am such a competitive, I was an AR points collector, super competitive girly. So I loved the library summer reading challenge. I just also loved going to the library as a kid, and like my parents letting me just like walk around, and I just like left with like 20 books. It was absurd, but I read so much as a kid. I'm just hoping that my children enjoy reading, because I love reading and I would love to share that experience with them. But so I was like, I miss having the summer reading challenges, and I wish they had them for adults. And I did learn that some libraries actually do have them for adults. Super jealous. All 3 places I've lived now don't have like a true challenge for an adult. They have just like a read books and you can come pick like a piece of merch, which is nice, and I love that, and I still support my local library. But I do this like bingo board, and I give myself like prizes. So I made, this is this year's, and it'll be on my Instagram, and I'll do like a separate video where like I'll try to make it bigger in case you don't have Instagram so that you can screenshot it. And I'm making this like fun little like booklet magazine thing for myself just because I was feeling extra and silly. I have that, and that has a ton of prompts, and I'll go through that in a separate thing. But so that is a whole separate summer entity. But between that and my lemonade, I'm just feeling the summer vibes right now. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know if I have these sorted by genre, but we're gonna try to sort them by genre as we go for fun. So the first one I have is on Kindle Unlimited. We're gonna start with romance. Sorry, we're gonna start with romance. First one I have is Safe Harbor. It's on Kindle Unlimited. This is like an interconnected, I don't know if it's necessarily a series, it might be, but it's in a small town. This girl works at like a little local ice cream shop. I follow the author on Instagram, and I just honestly find this cover just incredibly wholesome and very summer I turned pretty vibe to me from the cover. I don't think the book gives those vibes at all, just as a PSA. It's like childhood, let's look up. I just know that she works in a small town ice cream shop, and honestly that was enough for me to really want to read it. But I've wanted to read it like 3 summers in a row and I haven't, so I really would like for this to be the summer that I do read it, because she has this new book I think called Sunday Dinner or First Dinner or something. Safe Harbor. For a second I thought it wasn't recording and I was about to have a heart attack. It's called the Scoops series, which I just think is so cute. It says it's a young adult romance featuring the intensity of 2 people falling in love for the first time, a pack of fiercely loving coworkers that feel like family in a small town that has an obsession for festivals, fireworks, bonfires, and 32 delicious flavors of ice cream. I just feel like it sounds like a cute little perfect summer read. So that is really at the top of my TBR. I want to read it so bad. This has just been a book that I feel like I see around all the time and I'm like, do I want to read this? Do I not? But I really think I do want to read Picking Daisies on Sundays. Again, I like these like almost like hand-drawn feeling book covers. It looks so cute. I truly know like nothing about it, to be honest with you. And it may not give summery vibes at all, but it's giving summery vibes to me from the cover. So that's what I'm going with. This one just popped up on my Amazon recommended the other day, and it is Summer on Dune Road, which is also on Kindle Unlimited. Score. It's about like 3 women and I think they're vacationing in the Hamptons, which is always just a fun time to read about in the summer, I feel like, because if I can't go to the Hamptons, I might as well read about other people in the Hamptons. You know? Why not? Basically, these 3 women meet in the Hamptons, it sounds like, and they're all 3 of them are having different, like, relationship-esque issues. They band together and try to find solace in their unlikely friendship. It's a far cry from the respite each of them imagined. This improbable trio may not be too late to enjoy an unforgettable summer on Dune Road. And I like seeing books that I just like see online. I also, of course, this one's one that you probably have seen, but I really want to read Summer Romance and Same Time Next Summer, which I do own physically. Is there another Annabelle? She's coming out with a new one. That's what it is. The lack of iron is sending me. Yes, so I read Nora Goes Off Script. I'd like to read as many of the rest of the Annabelle Monaghan books. I have Same Time Next Summer, so that's at the top of my priority list. And then I'd love to read Summer Romance and It's a Love Story. So I think at least from her first book, I just think those are really appealing. Like, I love that she was a mom in the first book. It just made me happy. And I feel like a lot of time I either read about people that are like way ahead of me in life or like way younger than me or in a different stage of life. So it's always fun to read about someone that's like more similar, even though she was going through a terrible divorce and dated a movie star, neither of which I am doing. So, and I feel like at least Nora Goes Off Script kind of leaned like lit fic over just true romance personally. This I have had on my like kind of want to read list and I've been eyeing it for a while. And then I saw in someone's video that it's like perfect to read in the summertime. So I kind of bumped it up my priority list. I was like, okay, this could be fun. But it is Say You Swear and it is on Kindle Unlimited. And I know next to nothing about it except I think it's a sports romance. I might be wrong. But somebody said it gave like the perfect summer vibes. And that's what I'm here for personally. I have the hiccups. Holy cow. I need to start taking notes as to like why I think these books are on the TBR. Because, here's the drama. We're gonna have to, oh my gosh, this is life changing. Okay, I moved the camera because I think my back was literally about to give out. So now I'm a little propped up. Super sorry, folks. I'm also a little bit further away from my light than I like to be. If I turn this one on now, is it gonna be weird? Yeah, I'm kind of like illuminated from the side, so we'll just leave off my lamp, but lemonade break. Sorry I'm like now in the deep dark corner, but I feel way better sitting back here. If it was easier to get up and move the light, I honestly would, but it's not. This is what we're working with at this time. I need the air to kick on. I'm a little toasty. Should I move the light? I feel bad about the light being far away now. This one, I think I put on the TBR for summer because someone said it reminded them of How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, or they wrote it based on How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. So let's look it up on TikTok because that's where I think I found it. The New York Charm. Okay, this is it, by the way. I put this one on the TBR because I have a video saved by the author on TikTok that says if you miss the feelings of early 2000s rom-coms, you're gonna love this book. And then it has the sound from 27 Dresses, but also like audio from How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, and those are 2 of my favorite movies, so I love that. She said book 2 has a Biddy and the Jets 27 Dresses inspired scene in it, but it's called The New York Charm. It's a second chance workplace romance set in New York City. You know, shocker, but that was all I really needed to know I wanted to read this, and I do believe if I didn't say it's also on Kindle Unlimited. Okay, I moved the light because I just simply could not handle how dark it was. So this one I'm also really excited about. Maybe I'll try to do a video where I read all these books that I'm so excited about that I've not seen a soul talk about. But this is Starstruck by Holly Jukes. And tell me the cover isn't giving you Magnolia Parks, which I'm a Magnolia Parks lover, but I just love this cover so much. Sorry if that's not a reason to want to read a book, but it is for me. But it has fake dating, and I love fake dating. If there's one thing about me that I love, it's fake dating, second chance romance. Those are my favorites. The aesthetic of this, it's really appealing to me. Also on Kindle Unlimited. I also have the rom-commers on my Kindle, and I read The Bodyguard 2 summers ago, I think, and I now think Catherine Center, I feel like, has like 4 different books out that I have just not read because I've had the rom-commers on my Kindle and I just haven't caught up on it. And it's set, I want to think, in California. So she gets to pursue her dream of being a screenwriter, and he doesn't believe in love, and the script he wrote is awful, and they begin to question their beliefs about love and the power of rom-coms as they work together to like write this movie together. I'm just getting really good summer romance kind of vibes from this, and I have wanted to read it for a while, and shocker, but that is enough for it to be on my TBR for me personally. So next up, you guys, I feel like I am so close. I'm so sorry about this whole entire part of the video. I feel so chaotic. Is Seven Summers. This title is obviously giving summer. It says it's a contemporary romance novel that follows Liv, an artist, and her complicated relationship with Finn, a musician, over 6 summers in Cornwall, England. I love to read books that are like set over time. Not necessarily like slow burn, but just like as they, oh my gosh, look, my phone even matches. I'm so coordinated today. But it's told through alternating timelines between like the present and the past summers. And I have heard so many people say that this book made them sob, which sometimes I'm into that. I just need to be aware of that before I pick this up. Maybe need to read it before I have my baby, because God only knows that if I read it after in the throes of postpartumness, I may be far too chaotic. We are almost through with romance. You guys are doing so well. Another one that I have on my Kindle, this isn't romance. I lied. One of the only ones I own physically, Paradise Problem by Christina Lauren. I have several Christina Lauren books that have either been like sent to me or I purchased or someone's bought them for me. My dad bought me this one when he was in Australia for work. I read The Unhoneymooners and really liked it. I know a lot of people don't love those books, but I really liked it, and I love In Holidays at Christmas time. So good. Oh, I didn't know this is Fake Marriage. Not even fake dating. This is Fake Marriage, which... right up my alley. I need to read it. I have been wanting, let's just do some real quick rapid fire summary ones that I have that I want to read, but I've been wanting to read a book by these 2 authors, and the roughest draft I think is their first book. So I got this one for my birthday. I thought it'd be good to read for the summertime. I know a lot of people have read this. I feel like it's kind of like a hit or miss book, but I know it's 2 literary darlings, and they're trying to write their next hit, but I think they're not speaking, or they're not facing a crossroads in their personal and professional lives. They're forced to reunite. I think they have to stay in like basically like an Airbnb and write their next book together. If it's not summary, the cover is lying to us, and that's rude. I love You Had Me at Hola. I never see people talking about it, but it's about 2 actors that are on like the set of a telenovela that hate each other, and then they end up falling in love. And I don't know necessarily what this one is. It's the second one in that little, I think it's a trilogy of interconnected romances, but the telenovela vibes were just perfect when I read this in summer, and I keep meaning to pick this one up and I haven't. So I'm hoping I can get to this one. And then this came out, I want to think like last summer. So I think this is sort of second chance in a way, because there's 2 of them meet as teenagers and are best friends, and then their lives get separated. As after they express their feelings for each other, their lives go different directions, and now she gets a calendar reminder for the marriage pact they made as teens, that this is the only way to rekindle the only romance that's ever made sense. And they end up in Cinque Terre, Italy. And I love Cinque Terre. I'm sure I'm saying that wrong, but I do really love it there. And then the last romance that I have to show you is Fish Out of Water. This was another one that I got for my birthday. Her sister disappears on like this simple hike, and so she goes into the Rockies to find her, and she finds this guy to be her guide, and it's Grumpy Sunshine, and they're forced to share a sleeping bag. Not just a tent, but a sleeping bag. and hike through the wilderness, and we love national parks and like going on hikes. I know I don't look like a girly that can do that, but like I do enjoy that. And so I think this one could be fun for kind of like a different, like not necessarily like set at like the beach or like a resort vibe, but fun like hiking in the Rockies, finding our missing sister vibe. Let's move into, I think fantasy is probably, I have fantasy, a few thrillers, and then I think a couple like lit fic contemporary fiction ones. Ooh, okay, we can do fantasy. I'm looking over at my stack and it's like kind of out of the way, so hang on. Okay, so this one I know for a fact I had on my TBR last summer, and I think must have gotten traditionally published. It was on my TBR last year, so the fact that now it came out with sprayed edges and etc. tells me that something happened. The first thing it says on the inside is, "You say pirate like it's an insult." And what do we all know about me? It's a pirate book. I'm gonna pick it up. I've heard so much good stuff about this from a lot of my friends, and I'm really excited about it. It says, 600 years ago, night weavers, cursed beings with unchecked power, claimed the continents for their own. The ocean was meant to be a safe haven for humanity, including 17-year-old Aster Oberon and her pirate family. But after Aster's brothers killed in an epic battle at sea against the night weavers, Aster and her family are thrust into a new life on land. That's all I'm gonna read about it, but I really want to read this. This is like something I'm hoping I can get to in the next like week or two. The next one is 1,000 Heartbeats by Kira Cass. I don't know if this is technically a fantasy. It's set in like a royal setting, so it might be more romance, but it is a standalone fantasy romance novel that follows Princess Annika and Lennox, a soldier, as they navigate forbidden love amidst political turmoil in a war for the throne. It has enemies to lovers, apparently. It's dual POV, and they're star-crossed lovers. But I saw like an aesthetic video for this one. It was very medieval, chainmail suit, chainmail like chainmail armor? Is that the word I want? My pregnant brain is so out of it. Anyways, it has those vibes. I'm a sucker for more like medieval settings, and so I think this one could be a really fun one to read in the summer, especially if it's heavy on the romance. A Promise of Peridot. I read the first one, A Dawn of Onyx, last summer, and I just feel like this is like a lighter feeling fantasy. It's not necessarily, I truly do not know what they're doing up there. It is not necessarily gonna be like, I don't want to say too intense, because I don't know, this one could be after the way the first one was. But I just really liked reading the last one in the summertime, so I'm thinking this is definitely something I really want to pick up. It just is an easy, not too intense for my brain. I could read this at the pool and not feel like I'm reading something like super heavy, if that makes sense. And I just love the fact that the like areas in this book are after gemstones. I just think that's really fun. This is another one that my dad got me when he was in Australia. And it says, in a kingdom that fears the sea, Rhea longs to be brave. Bodies are washing ashore and everyone knows who's to blame. The legends of the Heartless King shroud the continent in fear. They call him a pirate, a monster, a god. When his mercenaries raid her father's merchant ship, Rhea's family is faced with a horrifying demand. Their father's life spared in exchange for one of his daughters. This is A Curse of Salt. And again, the pirate vibes. That was all I needed. I also just think this cover, it's got the little like octopus tentacles. The vibes of this. I truly don't know what the little boy is doing upstairs. He and his dad are just having a good time. Sorry if you can hear their feet. And then this is Namesake, which is the sequel to Fable. I read Fable, loved it. I read it in one sitting, which was crazy, but the font is huge and these are like barely 300-page books. And I just sat down one night and was just, maybe afternoon. I think I probably read it partially at nap time and then the rest of the afternoon. But I loved it and it ended on a huge cliffhanger for me, and so I really want to know where it's going. And so I desperately need to read this. Pirates, if you didn't know. She is this, our main character we follow, Fable, is this really cool thing. I cannot think of what she's called, but basically she can like tell what gems are by looking at them. It's like this really rare ability. Like she can like prove that things are real versus fake, and obviously in a world where people are dealing in gemstones and pirate dealings and whatnot, having someone with that ability is very helpful. And so she kind of conceals it, but she dives and sells these stones to people. I really liked the first one, and so I'm hoping I really like the second one. And if you haven't read the first one, definitely encourage you to pick it up. I really liked it. Okay, and then I have 2 Ellen Hildebrand books that I want to read specifically. I know everyone talks about Ellen Hildebrand, so I don't feel like I really need to talk about this too much, but I want to read The 5-Star Weekend and Hotel Nantucket. Last summer I read The Blue Bistro and I really loved it. Made me want to work in a restaurant, which is partially a book recommendation, or a book on my TBR in a second, is because I read that one last summer. But I really want to read both of these. I like reading an Ellen Hildebrand book. It just feels kind of fun. Summary, I would love to go to Nantucket, and I can't. But if you haven't read Ellen Hildebrand, her books are all set on Nantucket, at least all the ones that are currently out. And they're sort of like connected in different ways. And there's a show on Netflix about one of her books that I'm blanking on, but I actually really liked it. Jordan even watched it with me. But those are the two that I would really like to get to this year. We're in the literary fiction section now, by the way, or just general fiction. I really want to read Sweet Bitter. This was because of Blue Bistro last summer. This book is about this girl who goes to New York for like a change and ends up getting a job in the front of house of a restaurant that's like super fancy, and she knows nothing about like hosting and serving and wine and everything, and it's all about like the restaurant industry. And Jordan worked in a lot of different kinds of restaurants and he's always talking about it, so I'm always so fascinated to read about restaurants because I worked in a pizza place for literally like 6 months and the rest of my jobs were all retail. So I really want to read this. I'm hoping I can actually get to it. Main characters is also near the top of my list. It says a contemporary women's fiction novel about two half-sisters who meet for the first time after their father's sudden death. Forced to spend the summer together at their father's lake house in Maine, navigating grief, family secrets, and the complexities of their newfound relationship. Maine is another place that I really would like to visit, so I love reading books in places that I like want to go. And I just think a Maine summer book, especially one that's like not necessarily as like ooey gooey mushy, this could be a really, like, I don't want to say fun way, but like a way to kind of round out the summer reads. You know, I'm trying to find something for all the vibes for myself all the times. Okay, I never know kind of where to put these, but this is A Sea of Unspoken Things by Adrienne Young. I've read, ironically, she's also the author of Namesake and Fable, but I've read The Unmaking of June Farrow and Spells for Forgetting. I am of the camp Spells for Forgetting is my favorite book by her, and I can never get people to read that one. People always read Unmaking of June Farrow and they love it, which I understand. I really liked it too, but Spells for Forgetting is my favorite one, and I read it during the summertime and it was like perfect because it was set in this like sentient island is the best way to describe it kind of thing. This one is kind of, I'm not sure if it has magical realism. The other ones normally do. And I know this one has like a mystery element, which so did both of Unmaking of June Farrow and Spells for Forgetting. But it says it follows James as she investigates her twin brother Johnny's mysterious death and confronts her own past, including her relationship with Micah, her first love. The story is set in the Six Rivers National Forest in California where they grew up. Does give a little bit spookier of a vibe. I really just love to read Adrienne Young's book, and I've had this one on my Kindle forever. If you've read it and you agree that it gives like a more fall spooky vibe, please let me know, because I can't totally tell, but I just love her writing so much. This one is historical fiction-esque. This is The Amalfi Curse. Another one set on the sea. But this says a historical fiction novel that intertwines the stories of modern nautical archaeologist Haven and a woman named Marie DeLuca who lived in Postiano. I know I just butchered how you say that city. In 1821. Haven searching for her father's sunken treasure and uncovers a centuries-old curse tied to the sea witches, and while Mari navigates forbidden love and the dangers of her village's magical abilities. This is the same author that wrote The Lost Apothecary, which I actually really enjoyed. That book wasn't super popular, but I personally really liked it. I'm hoping that I like this one, maybe even more than that one. I also, hate to say it, love the cover. It is what it is. Okay, I think I'm to the like mystery section. First one is Saltwater. It is a psychological thriller that follows the Lingate family on their annual trip to Capri, where decades-old crime resurfaces, threatening to unravel their opulent lives and expose long-hidden secrets. Don't like to know a lot about mysteries that I read, but I saw this, I think, recommended at my local library for like summer thrillers, and so I was like, ooh. So I put it on hold, and I'm hoping I can get it soon because I think it sounds, I like stuff set in Italy, especially in the summertime. This one has been really blowing up right now, Wild Dark Shore, and it says a gripping story set on a remote sub-Antarctic island where a father and his 3 children are caretakers of a global seed bank. And I think basically someone washes ashore on their remote island and they're like, how did you get here? And the vibes that I've seen from this definitely give kind of spooky, might be a little bit more wintry than it is summery, but I've just seen a lot of people talking about it right now, and so I put it on hold at the library and I actually got it the other day, so I'm probably gonna read that soon. Crossroads by Devney Perry. Her books are always like romance and mystery, and so this one, I think the series is set in Montana and it'll be small town romance, and this one specifically is second chance, I think. It follows India, who returns to the ranch where she and West Haven, her childhood sweetheart, first met years after a painful separation. India is now the ranch's new owner, and West, despite his initial reluctance, realizes he needs her help to save his family's legacy. I don't know what the mystery part is. I really liked the whole like mystery romance the last time I read one of her books. I definitely am hoping I can read more by her, at least eventually. Drats. This one's in the wrong category, so sorry. But Pictures of You by Emma Gray I also currently have out at the library. And this is a girl who wakes up in the hospital after having like a car crash, and she wakes up with amnesia and she doesn't remember her husband who died in the crash and like pretty much anything else. I definitely think this one will be really sad, but I've also seen a lot of really great reviews from this from a lot of people. I just thought I would put it on I'd put it on hold at the library. And if I got it, great. And if I didn't, fine. I have plenty of other books to read. That's my new approach to putting books on hold at the library. Ooh, I just kicked that. So that is my still somehow enormous summer TBR. There are definitely other books around me and online and stuff that I've seen that I could add to my summer TBR. And who knows, I would love to make an actual dent in this, but I feel like I am never super successful in reading my seasonal TBRs. Like I read a handful of them and then I get distracted and life happens. But I do feel like I've got some good options. I hope you guys got some book ideas that you haven't necessarily heard of or seen that you could use for summer, because I know it's so hard. I feel like you always get the same book recommendations or TBRs. Someone's squealy upstairs. Hopefully you got some good ones, and I just want to thank Ana Luisa again for sponsoring today's video. Please check out the link in my description if you're interested at looking at some of my favorite pieces and some of their stuff online. Again, so much cute stuff. Love how the quality, love how cute it is. So excited to hopefully continue wearing these. These are also not that heavy, which I really appreciate, because they're dense. Like they're definitely really good quality, but they are not heavy, which I love because I do not like wearing things I feel like my ears are like dragging down. But yes, be sure to check out the link below and let me know if any of these summer books are on your TBR, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.